Military people of Reddit, Area 51 guards, how do you feel about the September 20th raid? I don't think people realize how much desert there is to the actual base. There's nothing out there for a raid. I'd imagine any SF people would just let them run as far as they can and then just drive over to them and offer a Mountain Dew to get in the back of the truck. I can honestly just imagine dudes wearing Oakleys driving the tricked-out 4x4 white panel van with free Mountain Dew, or free Monster, painted on sides, trawling the desert looking for people. My cousin flies the drones. Be careful out there. The raiders have drones too. Some bought the $150 Amazon ones you can control with a phone. Level playing field. Nothing makes an Air Force base happier than flying commercial drones in their restricted airspace. Hopefully, nobody knows about the small exhaust port that a well-aimed proton torpedo could get into and destroy the base. Let me guess, it's 2 meters long and the size of a wombat. I used to bullseye those on my T-16. Wouldn't hurt to have some real live news coverage here. How many people are queued up at local hotels? Any info would be worth reading. And GT, local hotels, the closest piece of civilization, has a single crappy motel with 13 rooms. I bet those pesky government agents bought all the rooms so nobody could go. Resident, I hope this guy make it inside. We have been living in here for several decades and I honestly want to stretch my tentacles and finally roam the world. See the sights, explore the sports. I'm rooting for you, friend. Thanks, I'm also looking forward to going home. They are just going to let everyone in the base, then never let them leave. The aliens need human sacrifices. Who do you think planned the raid? It's all a massive ploy by the aliens to bring in unwitting human sacrifices. They studied our culture, realized the power of memes and used that power against us. Bring lots of water. It gets hot in the frickin' desert and it's miles to get to anything. Also, it gets very cold. Because have you been to southern Nevada in September? It's currently 10:30 p.m. and it's still hot out. Source, I live here. In all seriousness, I'm wondering if other bases are on alert in case this thing really goes down. I'm more worried if actual bad groups use this event to their advantage. Can confirm that friends in the area had to get re-qualified on some weapons and stand extra duty. This is being taken as a serious threat to a military base. Glad I'm not stationed anywhere near there. Side note, I almost hope something happens just for the memes. A good chance to test the newest rubber chili pepper bullets and next-gen non-lethal wipe honorary. They could just use the puke laser, or the sound pain machine. Don't forget the microwave ray. It makes you feel like your skin is burning. Area 51 isn't going to stand a chance with the Naruto runners and the power of friendship. Maybe the real aliens was the friends we made along the way. Raiders, hey, I'ma find the alien anal probes. Sergeant Allen a few hours later, sir please bend over, we need to do a cavity search. So the real anal probes were the friends we made along the way. Ex-military with no relation to Area 51. I hope they clap some spicy alien cheeks. Finna get me an alien MILF. Martian I'd like to fuck. Once upon a time, not very long ago, a young man and woman joined the military. They then went to basic and were accepted as security forces base police. They were told they would be keeping the perimeter secure, high hopes for action. Then they receive orders to a base in the middle of nowhere with nothing to do. They find out that being a SP is sitting on the flight line at 2 a.m. watching a jet or standing at a gate in the heat. Their amazing skills go to waste. Then a herd of jackasses come loping towards their fence. This is what they've been dreaming. It will definitely be interesting. Becky, they're running away. Why are we still shooting? Brian, shut the fuck up and keep shooting. We ain't ever gonna see action like this again. And we followed protocol and shot 6 warning shots into their backs. I worked security forces down the way at Nellis for a few years. I would say good luck getting in first of all, it's just shitty desert for miles. Second, when you cross into a restricted area which is clearly denoted by many posted signs or painted on the ground, lethal force is authorized, no questions asked. But I would imagine that you would have to get in pretty far before lethal force is actually used. I think people might actually show up, but no one will actually do anything, and it will be guards at the border of the restricted area talking to neckbeards all night long. And GT, I would say good luck getting in. First of all, it's just shitty desert for miles. I think that's what most people don't get. They think they can just roll up to the front gate and make a run for it. I don't think anyone will be shot by guards, but I can totally see a bunch of people getting lost in the desert with no supplies besides 2 cans of Monster. The guards will spend the day having to drive around looking for lost idiots baking in the sun and giving them first aid. I'm sure that will get old quickly. You mean the September 20th massacre? I like to think of it as voluntary post-adulthood abortions. Edit. Whoa, thanks for what I'm pretty positive is my first ever silver. Your abortion is overdue, please step into your designated line. I used to work at Area 76. My only advice is, try not to get shot by the guards or mauled by military working dogs. TLDR, Naruto run and you'll be fine. Well, I was nearly shot on several occasions while entering the restricted area. And I was actually supposed to be there. Good luck, Army. I am so glad I am not one of the people in charge of security on that base, is all I'm gonna say. Why? Presumably because there's no option that isn't going to result in a massive shit show. Retired MSG here. I honestly doubt more than a handful of people could actually make it to the installation, since it's miles from the nearest town with no real roads leading in. That said, I was assigned to the Army's Delta Force in the 2000s. And our guard force was not only authorized to use deadly force if there was a breach of the perimeter, but it was standard operating procedure they should, since the compound is regarded as a high-value asset. But, let's say for argument's sake thousands of civilians were making their way to the installation. The most likely scenario would be a temporary extension of the installation's enforceable borders, augmented by local, state, and federal agencies working in conjunction to arrest them. Let's say thousands slip by these first echelons of LEOs, though. You'd most likely have escalating use of force the closer they get to the installation. Let's say thousands still make it through laser, sonic, rubber bullets, and tear gas deterrents and they get to the installation's physical barrier. They'd get shot and triaged on site, and those that live would be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. This is the most realistic answer here. There's no way local law enforcement, or even the Alphabet Boys, will let anyone close enough for guard force of the installation to have a problem. Lol, never heard them called the Alphabet Boys. Definitely stealing this. Retired military here. From a public opinion standpoint, the base MPs and BASF have got the short straw. If they don't stop incursions into the restricted space, they'll be a laughingstock. If they do, they'll be heartless, faceless assaulters of the general public. If real military force is required to be brought to bear against civilians, they'll be lambasted. From a practical side, civilians who think they can breach Area 51 are delusional. The military is not restricted to the same low-level riot equipment or rules of engagement that a municipal police force is. And assaulting a military installation would probably get you a trip to a black site military prison, assuming you didn't just wind up shot. Military forces protecting a restricted space are going to use lethal force, if necessary. If people show up, the realistic answer is Area 51 isn't shooting anyone. They'll send out the guards, arrest a few people to make a point, and everyone will turn around and leave. If an actual mob shows up, they'll probably hit them with non-lethal crowd control. I can't imagine they'll send guards directly into a crowd to make arrests. It's not like they're fighting a trained army. They could tear gas the crowd and shoot anybody who doesn't stop with rubber bullets. Soon enough, the whole crowd will narrow to run away. If the military government had secrets, what fun would it be to hide them at the most publicized secret facility? I'm excited to find out what kinds of new non-lethal technology the military has been working on, that they will get to test out on these dumbasses. Literally nothing is going to happen. They will likely have checkpoints on the highway coming in. Even then, it's a barricaded dirt road and 15 miles to the base. Most people can't walk 15 miles in the Nevada sun, if necessary. Once the first few are arrested and charged with federal crimes, people are going to stop trying real quick. 15 miles of Nevada desert over hills and depressions. It's not flat terrain. It'll be 100+ degrees. And that's after having to drive hours to get to the closest point, which is a damn near inaccessible dirt road. So yeah, good fuck, former military and rolling my eyes. Imagining hundreds of people risking being shot and killed to find nothing but a bunch of airmen and senior airmen sitting around a smoke pit chain smoking Marlboro Gold bitching about lunch chow and a file cabinet full of old maintenance cards for the B-1. If you want secrets, storm the mountain in Colorado. Living on any other military base is the most boring life possible with the exception of Camp Lejeune. At least the Marines would get drunk and throw insane barracks parties when hurricanes would roll through. No idea why civilians glamorize military life like we're living on the other side, and are privy to the secrets of the world. You expect a bunch of 19-year-old E3s who can't be trusted not to get an alcohol incident, DUI, for one goddamn week to keep their lips closed about the existence of aliens. If you wanted Area 51 secrets, just go to the nearest strip club on a Thursday or Saturday night. There's a reason the NSA, CIA, DIA all maintain police, security departments that aren't active duty.